Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Breakfast Club. Got That Funk here, standing in for Nathan Brendan Masters. As most of you will probably be aware, Nathan is an independent filmmaker, and he has projects in the works at the moment, and that's taking up his time today. And I'm quite happy to stand in for Nathan. I recently went to a counter-protest in London, which I'm going to talk more about on my own channel, and I'm not necessarily for this going to talk about what it was about. There are already videos on my channel which address that. I want to make on my own channel though, because it has the potential for drama. I want to make a direct response to a fairly prominent YouTuber who made a video about it. But for this video I want to talk about something I witnessed at this demonstration that I've never witnessed before at a demonstration. And that was the presence of people wearing masks. And the people wearing masks were on my side, the counter-protest side of the demonstration. Because after things got going, after the main demonstration, I think at Day of Freedom started, the police did completely physically separate the two groups with a pretty convincing barrier. I'll talk more about the behavior of the Metropolitan Police, which I thought was impeccable, certainly for the time that I was there, which was nearly 3 hours. I'll talk more about that toward the end of the video, but I want to talk about, actually, for the main part of this video, why I think it is not only unwise but wrong to show up at a demonstration with a mask on. I mean, there are minor exceptions to this. I mean, if someone wants to, like in the demonstration for against the war in Iraq, a month before that happened, I was in London that day, and I saw one or two people dressed up as Tony Blair or George Bush, and I think that's kind of an understandable costume. Fine, you're there, as a parody. Fine, whatever. But when people come up, dressed in black, or not dressed in black necessarily, but with masks on their face, and the masks are almost always black, I think it's unwise for a lot of reasons, and wrong for other reasons. And I'm just going to present my point of view and leave it out for debate. Tell me what you think, what you don't think, what you like, what you don't like, whatever. But number one, for me, if you're going to be at a demonstration, for whatever reason, counter demonstration or for the main part of the demonstration, you personally should be present. To have your face, you want to be identified. That's the whole point of being there. You count. If you show up with a mask on, you don't count. You're not really there. And number two, you invite the suspicion of mischief. You may or may not be there to cause trouble. But the bottom line is, you invite that suspicion upon yourself. You also invite the problem that people will identify with a group or an ideology that you may or may not have, because you've got a mask on. And the other thing is, you mark yourself out as a target when you have a mask on. If trouble does kick off, you're going to be one of the first people they come to find to fucking bust heads. So there's, those practical reasons. The other reasons for me, like, you make whatever group and cause that you're trying to represent in a positive way, by your presence at a demonstration. You make it vulnerable to subversion by elements who want to do that cause harm. By making yourself invisible wearing a mask, anybody who disagrees with your cause can present themselves as one of you and fuck things up, and you take the blame for it. So there's that. I mean, to me, that's just utterly stupid. Why would you want your cause to be representable, to be so subvertible? To me, that just makes it very easy for people who disagree with you to make you look bad. And I think that's just kind of an obvious reason to drop the whole thing. Last but not least, when you mark yourself out as mischievous, right? You tarnish the goal. No matter how virtuous the goal might be, you kind of tarnish that by making it appear necessary that you can't get there without causing trouble. And the most effective demonstrations are peaceful. Almost always, not always, I have to admit that, but almost always they're peaceful. And it should be the definite intention of everybody to be peaceful at a demonstration. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Metropolitan Police and the way they handled the demonstration on Sunday afternoon. There were an awful lot of police there, an awful lot, hundreds, and they were definitely the difference between a peaceful demonstration and counter demonstration and a riot. The Metropolitan Police handled it exemplary. They were calm, they were cool, even when things were extremely hot. The cops totally kept their cool. They were very professional, and as far as I could tell, they policed the event with absolutely no bias one way or the other. So that is extremely to the credit of the Metropolitan Police, and I appreciate the job of every officer that was in my view. Certainly, I honestly think they couldn't have done a better job. So, and I think a lot could be learned from that. The cops weren't wearing riot gear, even though the potential for a riot was extremely real. And also, number two, most British police, and this was certainly true of all the cops that were standing in the lines, did not appear to be armed with any kind of a firearm. And it takes an awful lot of guts and an awful lot of they must drill stuff like that, and that's how they got it so good, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, hats off to the Met, basically, and it's not often you hear me sing for the police, but in this case I think it would be disingenuous not to. Okay, I want to thank you for watching this video. I look forward to a vigorous comment section, and I think I may make another video tomorrow about something a little more interesting. Until then, thanks for watching. Peace.